This is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections Videos. If you like my videos, please subscribe. I'd like to talk today about attitude. And I'm not just talking about attitude on the job, attitude about the job. I'm talking about attitude in general. Now, I've been in law enforcement longer than a lot of you have been alive. It's been my entire adult life since I was 22 years old. I've worked in either corrections or as a police officer. Throughout those 40 plus years, you'd think that I probably have a pretty cynical attitude about a lot of things. You know, most of the time as a correctional officer, you're not dealing with people who are conducive to earning your trust or gaining your trust or having a good attitude about them. You're dealing with people that society wants to forget, that society wants to put away, and just act like they're not there. But you as a correctional officer or a probation officer or as a correctional social worker, you have to deal with those people. Now you can go in there and you can deal with them with a bad attitude. You can go in there with the attitude you're the boss. They're not. They're scums or POS, whatever you wish to go in with as an attitude. But that attitude is going to come right back at you. You know, as a police officer, my attitude when I approach a vehicle is, you know, I take precaution. I don't know what's in that vehicle. I don't know who's in that vehicle. I don't know what intent they may have. But I'm still going to treat them in a respectful manner. I treat everybody the way I would want to be respected in a similar circumstance. And that's about all you can do. And 99 times out of 100, I've had people riding along with me who can't understand why people thank me when I give them a traffic ticket that may cost them a couple $100. The reason they thank me isn't because I'm giving them a ticket. It's because I treated them respectfully. Now, I'm not saying you've got to bend over and kiss anybody's butt, because I certainly don't do that when I'm a police officer or when I was a correctional officer. I didn't bend over and kiss anybody's butt. I didn't kiss my superior's butts when I worked in corrections, which ultimately led to some problems, but you know, that's just the way it goes. I was true to myself. I maintained a good attitude. You know, if you go to work every day acting like you just took a big bite out of a turd sandwich, you're going to have a pretty miserable day. And when you get out of work and you go home and you're still chewing on that turd sandwich, you think it's not going to affect your wife, your husband, your kids, your significant other? Yeah, it's bound to affect them, because they're going to see your attitude, and they're going to base their attitude towards you on your attitude toward them. You know, I brought this up in previous videos. You know, when you walk down the hallway, when I was a captain for the Department of Corrections, when I was on first shift, I'd walk down to the muster room, and I'd see Officer Smith, and I'd say, "Hey, Officer Smith, how are you doing today?" Living the dream. Yeah, okay. You know, all right, you're living the dream. Good for you, Officer Smith. You know, you just showed that you're going to have a pretty crappy day because of your attitude. I don't expect everybody to be all happy and smiles all the time. That's unrealistic. Nobody's going to be that way. Were there days when I went into work with a bad mood, a bad attitude? Yeah, no doubt about it. There were days when I knew I was going to have to do something that I sure didn't want to do. But you know what? I had to do it. It was a part of the job. You know, developing cynicism can be a big part of this job as well. Being cynical against other people, not trusting other people. And it's understandable, you know, particularly in today's society, for a police officer not to trust people it's pretty easy. You know, look at the trust that the public has in us. Look at how, you know, that's been eroded through the press. As a police officer, cop to cop, how many of you trust the press? How many of you want to give an interview on TV or want to give an interview to the newspapers because you can trust them and you know that they're going to portray it exactly the way you want them to portray it? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know, it goes back to attitude, though. Everything in your career is based on attitude to a certain extent. If you have a rotten attitude about your boss, and I've had that at times in my past. If you have a rotten attitude about your work, guilty again at times. If you have a rotten attitude about life in general, it's going to show through with the way you react to people. We're in a people profession where we have to react to people. Probably 99 times out of 100 for a police officer, interacting with people can be a very unpleasant event. But there's that 1% of the time where it's not. In corrections, you know, you're in a cell block with 150 men. If you go in there with a piss poor, grumpy attitude, believe me, those 150 men are going to make your day miserable. So, you know, just think about what you're doing to yourself when you walk around like you took a bite out of a turd sandwich. Do you like that sandwich? Do you want to chew it? Do you wish there were more peanuts in it? It's up to you. You can either chew this turd sandwich or you can spit it out. Until next time, this is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections Videos. Stay safe and watch your back.